Come to order, please. Scott? The notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act for this meeting has been satisfied. A copy of the annual meeting notice was sent to the press, the Down Beach Current, posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building, on the municipal website, filed in the office of the municipal clerk. Would you please take a second, turn off electronic equipment as we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Attention, salute. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Johanna, call the roll, please.
Mayor Becker?
Here.
Commissioner Amadeo? Here. Commissioner Blumberg?
I am here.
As there are no items listed for discussion, we will begin with department head reports. And Jimmy, why don't you start today?
Where's Fred? He's not. Fred. A lot of new houses going up. We're trying to get the fences around the properties now to maintain the properties from getting, from dust blowing off. So if you see a property that doesn't have a fence around it, give us a call. But we're out there diligently correcting those problems. We also are trying to minimize the effect that there's a demolition across the street right now that we're really trying to make sure that the dust and debris doesn't blow all over the street, trying to keep that clean. I see one of the neighbors there, and I hope he's okay. We can see you afterwards if you have any problems with any of that debris on that property. It's a difficult tear down, I can tell you that, and I think they were aware that it was going to take 3 days to tear it down. It's built like a, fortress. Again, we're very busy and looking forward to aggressive spring coming forward with a lot of new construction. That's all I have.
Thank you, Jim. Roger?
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. To reiterate what Jimmy said, as construction is busy, as is zoning and planning, next planning board meeting is December 22nd. That's all I have to report. Thank you.
Thank you, Fred.
Yes.
Would you have anything to report today?
One South is coming along nicely. We should be ready for a soft opening for January. Thank you.
Thank you, Fred. Johanna?
All's well in the clerk's office.
Mr. Abbott?
That's me, mister. Microphone. Things are pretty good. We have a couple of issues. We have a challenge on a bid proposal for road work. The second low bidder is challenging the first low bidder as to the sufficiency of the wording of what is called a consent of surety. We have a order to show cause with a return date on January 13th in front of Superior Court Judge Bonkish. I think we're in pretty strong position. We took the lowest submitted bid. It really boils down to the lack of an S on the guarantee or the consent to surety to furnish a bond versus bonds. So we'll see. Fortunately, it's in the middle of the winter, so I don't think we're going to lose any time on blacktopping, because that is assured me it's going to take them a few months in the dead of winter to prep the roads before you would have the availability of asphalt anyway. So we're not losing any time. We'll let the court decide it. There was about a $4,300 difference between the two bids of slightly over $1 million. With regard to that, we have our shellfish habitat law that Margate's been pushing. There's a Senate subcommittee on the environmental agenda for Monday. Dr. Farrell is going to testify to the Senate committee. I'm going to be with him in Trenton. We get this shellfish habitat rule pushed through. It would be fantastic for Margate with our efforts to try to get dredging done. It would greatly lessen the cost of dredging, not just for Margate, but for every community that's facing dredging issues. That's all I can think of.
Thank you, Scott.
That's it.
Rich?
This is the time of year when we are doing budget work, preliminary budget work for 2017. We will be working on both an operating budget and capital budget, bringing it forth to the commissioners early in the new year. The current budget is in good shape in terms of we don't have any serious problems that we're aware of with respect to 2016. And operationally, we're financially, in addition to that, we're trying to recover a lot of funding, which we've been doing all year, from grants that we've been successful for over the years. There's more and more bureaucratic responsibility, especially as it relates, we have the responsibility of providing all kinds of bureaucratic information in order to recover the funds that we're entitled to on these grants that we were awarded, especially for the Sandy funds from the Sandy damage. There are pages and pages of requirements and copies of things that have to, in this electronic age, we have to make copies of all kinds of invoices, timesheets, and all kinds of financial data in order to recover our funds. But our finance department, our CFO is doing a great job in recovering these funds. So our cash position and our budget position is good right now, and we'll be coming back to you in January with 17 budget information.
Thank you, Rich. Chief Wilson?
Everything's good in the police department as always, and I'd like, after Lisa's done, I'm waiting for some information. We're actually having a fundraiser, and I can't remember if it was Friday night or Saturday night, to stuff the police car at the ball field for Friday night. And I'm trying to get the time so I can let the public know.
Yeah.
So when Lisa's done, I should have that information.
I think it was reported at 5:30 that
I
it
just
was
want to make
supposed
sure.
start. Okay.
The older I get, the more I forget these things. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Lisa?
Just to add to what Rich was mentioning about the grants, so you have an idea, there's currently, we were awarded like $425,000 for these post-Sandy grants for various projects. We just canceled, I believe last meeting, $65,000 of that and lost funding because the projects were never awarded or began for one reason or another. And to date, so we're still due $350,000 of this grant money, most of which has been paid out to our consultants. So it's just very important that whenever the city does obtain a grant, I just ask that you make sure to include the finance department, meaning me, on the status of these projects and submit to me all the signed contracts, and everything, because they're very specific. It's cracking down, and it, as Rich said, it is extremely time consuming. So the only other thing I wanted to point out is we had the sale today to roll over our special emergency note. This will be the final year of the note related to the Hurricane Sandy emergency. We're required to pay down $150 each year. So this amount of the note is $750,000. We received 2 bids, one from Oppenheimer and one from Roosevelt and Cross, and the successful bid went to Roosevelt and Cross with a net interest rate of 1.5655. We received a premium of $3,250, and we will close on that next week, at which time I will pay down the last year's note, which comes due, I believe, on the 14th of $1.5 million. That's all I have to report. So we got good results.
Good job, Lisa. Thank you.
You ready?
Chief Tabasco?
I'm sorry, Mayor, I'm just going to jump back in. That time is, it's at the ball field, it's 5:30 to 8:30, and it's for a good cause, so thank you.
Mayor, all is well in the fire and rescue department. All good. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. Ed?
Thanks.
Chief?
Okay. We received bids for the playground upgrades. They were over budget, so we're requesting, Johanna, I believe, do we have that on the agenda to reject them? Okay, well, we'll do it at the next meeting. They came in, we had tried, originally budgeted for 2 courts. Then we tried to squeeze 3 in, and it came in over budget. So we would want to cancel or reject them and then rebid it with 2 bids, 2 courts as a base and the third as an alternate. But we could do that at the next meeting.
May I ask a question? Ed, how many bidders were there for that project? How many bidders?
I believe there were 4.
Okay.
But the significant also is the low bidder, his bid was incomplete. He did not submit the his electrician, so, but the main reason is we're over budget on it.
Okay.
Ed, would we be better off if we added that to the agenda and get that done tonight?
I'm sorry?
Would we be better if we added that to tonight's agenda?
No, it's because it's not going to happen until the spring anyway.
Okay.
It's a temperature-sensitive process, so we just wanted to get it put away and have it ready to go.
Ed, will the rebid include extension of the basketball court? Is that going to stay in?
Yes.
Because you had the pickleball courts and the extension of the basketball court, correct?
We had, as well as fencing around the playground equipment.
Right, okay.
So,
Good, thank you.
1 South Washington, as Fred reported, is moving along well. The punch list, they're completing pieces of it as we speak. So it'll be interesting and hopeful we'll be in there in mid-January then. The 2014 state aid, we're closing that out. That's Amherst Avenue. We submitted the revised punch list to the contractor. There's still a few little pieces that he has to do to clean up. The 15 state aid, we're in the process now of executing the contracts. That was awarded at the last meeting. The 2015 beach bulkhead access, which will be at Brunswick Avenue, the design is underway. We're probably about a month away from putting that out to bid. The South Jersey gas main installation, as everyone has seen, there's a lot of paving going on. That's Lantier's piece. Kylie's piece, there's still, per the mayor, 68 services left to be done, and those will probably be done in the spring or over the winter, whenever. But I wouldn't expect any paving being done on those sections until the spring. What we'll do is, before the plants close, we'll do another ride around town, and any of the patches that are problematic, we'll have them addressed for the winter. And that's pretty much, that's it for my report.
Thank you very much, Ed. Maury, you have anything?
Yes, I do. I have one thing, and it is a thank you, although he's not here. It's to Frank and the Public Works team, Yogi and Mike Mack, for the great job that they do with our holiday lighting. Every year, it seems that we add something a little bit more, a little new. This year, I think I noticed a purple tree, which is gorgeous. So I wanted to thank them. And every time that this happens, I feel good riding down the streets and by the park, and I think people feel good, and I think it makes the city look good. So thanks to them for the great job that they do, and that's all I have.
Thank you, Maury. John?
Yes, Mayor. I would also echo Maury's kudos to everybody involved in that process, because it is a centerpiece of our city. What I'd like to do is ask for permission or put a recommendation on the table. I spoke with Tom Broya, our unofficial or official photographer of the city, and asked him what it would cost for him to bring his drone in and photograph it as the sun set, to give us a nice picture. Because what I'm thinking about is, as we do our calendar, the MPA does a great job on our calendar every year. That would be a nice way to start the 2018 season next year, with a photograph of our park. And the other thing is at the same time, I think we ought to consider doing an aerial with the drone when we do our Memorial Day parade with all the children that are involved as we come around the corner on Union Avenue, and Ventnor Avenue is filled from curb to curb with kids and people lined up. I think that would be another great shot that we could utilize on our, with the fire trucks and our police and you know, the bands. It would be another nice profile to put on our calendar. So with the permission of the mayor and the other Commissioner Blumberg, can I get a PO for $200 to do the photographs?
I'm good.
I think it's a great
I'll give it to you
idea.
myself.
Okay, good deal.
Thanks, John.
Good.
We watch every penny we spend here, folks.
Okay, right, okay. If fire, you're right, Rich. Picture of a fire engine. Come out of your public safety.
Yeah, all right.
No, sir. I'm good. At this point, we will open for public comment, 3 minutes on anything that was talked about here today. Is there any public comment? Yeah. Come forward, and I assume you want to talk about construction. Is that a construction experience? No, because that 3 minutes, construction was talked about, Steve, so if that's what you're here to talk about, because you just constructed a new home.
Let him talk.
Go ahead.
I'll attempt to.
Name and address
I
for
will
the...
attempt to abide by the 3-minute limit. I can't promise that I will. My name is Stephen Persky. I live at 300 North Mansfield Avenue, and that's really why I came here today. There are a couple of things that I want to tell you about with respect to that fact. I want to start by recognizing that the process of building a house anywhere, and I assume it's not just Margate, is extraordinarily difficult and complicated and stressful. My wife and I went through the process enjoying a great deal of meaningful help and support from every agency of this city's government with which we had to deal. And without attempting to prioritize in any way or alphabetize or anything else, we dealt with the city clerk's office, we dealt with the city tax collector's office, we dealt with the city's tax assessor's office, we dealt certainly with the building department. We could not possibly have received more cooperative and more helpful support in the effort than we did. And I left out the mayor's office, and I apologize. We dealt with the mayor's office as well. I am proud of what the city was able to do for us, and I assume they didn't do anything for us that they don't do for everybody else, so I think everybody in the city should be proud of the way this city is handling those kinds of projects. As I said, for us it was an extraordinarily difficult and stressful exercise that we have now completed. We are in the House, we are happy there, and I want to thank all of the agencies of city government for that process. Second point I want to make is kind of related to the first, but it's a little bit different. I have, other than on behalf of clients on occasion, not been personally before this commission since I was in the legislature and appeared before every city governing body with respect to our respective responsibilities. But I have been in this room before, and in fact, when I first came into this room, the lines that you see on the floor had some meaning that apparently they don't mean anymore. I'm second grade when this building was built. When the cornerstone was changed a few years ago and they opened it up, they found pages of the signatures of all of the students who were in the school when it opened in 1952, and my name is on that sheet and now appears in the Historical Society building somewhere around Washington Avenue. I've been in this building and in this room on many occasions, of course, since then. I played ball here. I performed in school plays here. I came to watch my children in this building. And I say all of that because I am quite proud of the fact that although I don't claim to be the only one, and in fact, Mr. in the audience shares the longevity with me, this month represents 60 let me get it right, 51 and 16, 67 years of continuous residence in the city of Margate. We are now in what for me is my 5th address in the city. Started out on Nassau Avenue at 8600, and then after all these years I'm back at 8600, but we've been 4 other places as well. And while, as I've said, I don't claim to be the person with the longest continuous residence in the city of Margate, I'm more likely near the top. And I simply want you to know that that is, for me, a great source of pride. It always has been, and I hope indeed that it always will be. I anticipate that this is my last move, so I don't expect to come back to you and tell you that I have a 6th address, but I am very, very proud of the fact that I have 5, and that's what I came to tell you.
Thank you very much, Steve.
Thank you, Senator.
Any other public comment? Did you take them down?
Yeah.
Put the hold on that, Mayor, like you did for the last speaker. Let it all be fair. Mayor, following up on the remarks of our esteemed technician over there, Freddie. That's you, Fred. Yes, we talk about a soft opening. It's Frederick. Frederick, for you. Frederick. Fred, by any chance, would that soft opening include having the commission meetings over at 1 South Washington?
You'll have to redirect that comment to the commission.
Will we know by December 15th at the second meeting of this month?
Again,
Well, that would be a total waste of time, Frederick. I hate to tell you.
It's your time, John. Do with it what you want.
I'll spend it as leisurely as I like, Mayor.
Please do.
Don't rush perfection. But one thing I would like to note, that whenever a project is undertaken, especially for cash, Mayor, I would like to see change orders strictly scrutinized, and I'd like to see performance contracts with penalties per day if they cannot meet the completion dates. And following up on the city engineer's remarks about the 2 or 3 courts, can I venture to say that that's for the $2 million Field of Dreams that the mayor squandered a few years back?
John?
Yes, no, maybe?
Ask the question.
I'll ask it to you, Mayor.
Go ahead.
Is this 2 or 3 courts from the $2 million that you squandered a few years back on your Field of Dreams?
Was not, John.
This is a different set of tennis courts?
That is correct.
Where are these tennis courts?
It's pickleball, John. It's not tennis court.
Pardon?
They will be here at Union Avenue in the playground.
Do we really need them when we have...
There seems to be a need for them, John, yes.
What is the approximate cost of these 2 or 3 courts?
We have to go out to bid again, John.
And what was the first bid?
I don't know if that's...
Well, we can ask the city engineer.
No. I don't think it's proper to put that out in public, John. Thank you.
You think it's not of public import? And you don't think that the public's entitled to know how much money you squandered?
We didn't squander a penny, John. Thank you.
Yet. The operative word is yet, Mayor.
And you will
haven't
know how much it'll
squandered
be
yet.
before we squander penny one.
And what kind of revenue we derive from your elevated handball court out on the Field of Dreams, Mayor, over these years? What kind of princely sums have we been achieving as a revenue stream? Any idea?
I have no idea, John, but I don't think it's a lot of money, if any.
I'll join you on that remark.
Any other public comment?
Steve Warner, 103 North Sumner. Am I to understand that we're going to have a couple of tennis courts at Union Avenue? Is that, yes?
Pickleball courts.
What kind of, oh, paddle ball?
Pickle.
Pickle.
They hit pickles.
Okay. I know I mentioned before that possibly another tennis court or another, would it be possible to put like not a great tennis court, but some sort of tennis court there in addition to the pickleball courts? No? Not possible?
Probably not. We'll ask the engineer to look at that, but I don't think that's enough space out there.
No. Okay, well, I just would just like to restate that there's, in the summer, there's a real line to get on the tennis courts. I understand it's only 2 months of the year, but like 70% of our residents are only here 2 months of the year, and I don't think it would be a bad idea to accommodate them if we can, possibly add another tennis court, something like that. And also, we've discussed this before, but I'll bring it up again, possibly add a miniature golf course over at the ball field. I mean, a lot of that land's just sitting there. Nobody, you know, it's all well and good. It's to visit like what used to be a softball field or something, but maybe the land could be better used, something for the kids to do in the summer. Something additionally to do other than just to hang around CVS and what have you, have like a miniature golf course, which maybe is administered by somebody else. I just think it would be a good idea if we get, we've mentioned this before, but any things that would enhance this resort for the people that are only here 2 months of the year, I think that would be good, and that would be money well spent. And happy holidays and Merry Christmas, a little early, but this is December 1st.
Thank you, Steve. Same to you.
Same to you, Steve.
Any other public comment? Is there a motion to close public comment?
Move the motion to close public comment. Second.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
Is there a motion to adjourn this meeting?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
Okay, we'll take a short 5-minute break, and then we will resume our public meeting.